Hey everybody, this video is the highlights from 2 live streams that I ran this last week. I was looking at Japan versus Australia, going through the footage, looking back at stuff that was interesting and chatting with the people who are coming to watch. I'm planning on doing similar streams every Tuesday and every Friday at 6 PM UK time, which is just after lunchtime in America. And it's the more the merrier, you know, so come along, join in the chat and watch the game with me. I've also been doing some video analysis privately for teams, so get in touch if you think that's something your team would be interested in. Email me, Felix at felixultimate.com. For now, here's the highlights from this week's streams. I hope you enjoy the video. This match is from 2016. This is the semi-final from the World Championships in 2016. Having this left arm out on the disc when wound up, technique-wise, that means that you rotate your shoulders, right? Because you can just pull your arm back, but like stretch your kind of like rib cage. But if you bring your arm across, that really rotates your entire core and everything. And you notice this is a technique that a lot of the Japanese players seem to have. And then you see the snap of the core there before the disc is released, transmitting the energy down through the arm into the disc. Kind of interesting. Yeah, it is a unique forehand throwing form, Russ. I've noticed that. And then it's such a nice throw to see him looking over that shoulder and just to throw it right to the back corner at this point. Real nice. Let's see where the cut develops from over here. Just kind of a slightly off positioning there. 97. He's marking the last man, but he's like looking at the disc, you know. So that's an incredibly risky situation already. But you should really be positioned behind, especially against Australia.
Shoots it and a rising catch for the 53 shirt defender from Australia. Coming in trying to make it a play.
He kind of had to though, didn't he? Like if you look at how close their feet are here before he takes off, you know, he doesn't have much room to carry on running. Yeah, like he has to pretty much has to bid there, otherwise he's having to start a step and it's really awkward. Yeah, really nice offense, showing you don't need to beat people in the air to beat them for a disc that's in the air. I'm sure there's better ways of phrasing that. Something about the disc being upside down just persuades people to crowd-wise every time. Oh! The poach, yeah, the poach is here. You know, so if that is slightly over his head, or if he gets a piece on it and it goes up in the air, then he's got the D. Just like Matt Raider in the USA Japan final. Dylan Freechild style here. Interesting. You can't really see if it touches it. It doesn't really look like it. I mean, if you look at the disc, it doesn't really change. Well, it might pop up a tiny bit, but that. Oh, excellent. You see that throw? Is that stall? Bloop. Just toss it over the top. Right? Yeah, he's just throwing to separation. He hasn't eyed up the rest of the field. And he's having to throw to a tiny area. Or he is aiming at a tiny area. Nice, lefty. Still underrated, the lefty. Like almost more by beginners, you know. You would have thought beginners would be like, yeah, cool, I'll learn a lefty backhand, but you know, I teach it as a basic throw in Sussex Uni, and after a few months, you know, someone will make a short side arm and be like, oh, that would have been a better lefty backhand, and the beginner will be like, lefty backhand. And I'm like, yeah, like it's one of the throws that you know we work on. It's one that you should have in your arsenal. They changed the colour hats that they wear between this game and the final. Is it WUGC rule now that you have to have the same colour hat? Yeah, is it WUGC rules that you have to wear matching colour hats? Because I think that's done. The players, is that Matsuno? He's fronting. Oh, nice. He's in, right? Let's have a look. Juggle. Control. Yeah, definitely in. Whoop. Put my right foot behind me. Oh, I thought he was going to throw the hammer. You should have thrown the hammer. No way, he got it. Oh, that's mad. There's history with Australian hammers, basically. They lost sudden death to USA by dropping a hammer in the end zone. But look, he must be thinking hammer here. So, like, yeah, Australia are very conscious of their hammers. This looks like a good hammer opportunity. This guy here should come under a little bit quicker. It's a little bit painful, you know, because the whole time this guy's free. You've got to clear out. As soon as you see that, you clear out the end zone. But no, he's hanging back, and then he comes under. So maybe he can't throw the hammer then. But then the outside in flick, he's like, no, I won't throw a hammer. But he is free, so I'll chuck this. Like, offense definitely changes direction and goes for the disc. D gets there first and gets clouted, right, a little bit. Disc up in the air, little trip over, lands on him. Oh no! Oh my word!
You see the disc blading, comes in, bounce around.
Ah, no way! I think there was 2 years in a row where, in the US national final, this happened. A player was on the floor and another player picked the disc up off them. You see Arakawa he does they do it in rugby, I think, where they take a jump and then jab one side, and he reacts to that initial jab, but that jab has just basically meant that he can push off in the other direction. So much separation. That'd be quite a good drill, wouldn't it? Like, how much separation can you get in any direction from someone marking you like that? It's timing, obviously. So when does he time it? Just as this guy catches it. Boom, the catch. He's about to turn around, so Arakawa looks at the space and he's just like, Zh. So good. Defender does well here to react to it. Yeah. I mean, if this guy wasn't face marking, he should know that is the area of threat right now. You know, especially with these players here, there's no immediate breakside threat. You can't see everything, I suppose. 31 does well to be there, but you can't stop that. Arakawa's so good. Needs more cat. Root. Oh. The viewers want to see you. Come here. Here we go. Here's Rue. Hello. Hello.
For Australia.
You see that as a switch there, I think?
Here for Australia.
Yeah, so there's that separation, and he's pointing, and this guy's coming under, and he's pointing. Look at the distance that they're doing that switch at. That's great. And it nullifies that entire move, so it's super efficient.
They quickly reset and play on. Koike blades the flick.
Oof. That throw. Just slice through the middle.
Reset and play on. Koike.
That's powerful throw. Like this fake is real good. Get that disc back up the sideline. Sees the option. The thing that you want to fake at is this defender, right? You see this defender start to move, and you just be like, yeah. I'm definitely throwing this, Mr. Defender. And then shoof. Yeah, like if he'd released that, that's exactly what this guy wants. He wants him to throw it fast to try and hit this player before he gets there. So right up until the point of release, this is a realistic look, which is exactly what's going to get a really good defender committing. And then the offense can just go the other way. And then he's like, oh, now I just throw this. I like that technique. Like sitting on the floor when he throws it. Right through the middle. And that should be a goal now. Just give go here, maybe. Slight mistiming in the end.
This off the start here by the Australians, changing up the look, getting just a little bit different.
That was a crazy throw. That had to be so accurate. Right down the sideline. Matsuno. And he throws to this. Right? It's kind of mad. Like he throws to that there, and if the throw is anywhere shorter or longer or to the left, anywhere other than like exactly there, like he's only got a very small window to aim at, but doesn't really hesitate.
Australians changing up the look, getting just a little bit different.
That disc was in the air a long
So
time, still
yeah, you can't really blame the defense for that. It's just an absolutely pinpoint throw. Let's watch until the stoppage. Or
Matsuno airs it out. Corono chases it down.
Nice. Just a super accurate throw from Matsuno. No hesitation. Let's see how he gets the disc in his hands. He just goes back towards it. So they just tear apart the fact that Australia have poached. Australia have done some poaching, so they're out of position. If he moves the disc quickly, then they don't have time to get their position back. This guy just knows. He just knows. Corona, right? He just knows. Yeah, just throw it deep and free. How does he know? He must. Yeah, so he knows that this. So this is the guy that's supposed to be marking him, and this is the deep poach. But he knows that this guy hasn't picked him up. Like this guy's making that mistake of playing poachy because they're doing a different defense. That should be a switch. Yeah, like it shouldn't be like, you know, you're moving at 60% because you're in poach mode. It should just be switch. You've got to mark this guy 100% because he's playing against Japan and Matsuno's got the disc. Like, what do you think is going to happen? Big space over here.
Corona launches upfield. Matsuno leaps and fires.
Classic. So Corona, Matsuno, very close on the sideline here. But it's the inward pivot and the immediate huck. And like he potentially travels like a tiny bit of a travel. But it's the kind of travel you notice way more than when people peel out like towards the sideline and bend that corner. You know, because you're not expecting it, and it screws the defender over as well, because a lot of defenders are expecting you to go left. You see, I think this guy, yeah, it could just be the momentum of his bid, but you know, Matsuno's now got this break channel, and he's being fouled at the same time, or very nearly being fouled. It's so quick. So it's interesting. He's actually like bending away from the sideline already. He's near to the sideline. He's coming away from the sideline a little bit. Boom. So that step there, I'd say, is to travel. But I think that's like not really significant. I mean, it kind of should be, but the number of times people travel bending around the other way towards the sideline, which, you know, directs all their momentum towards nowhere that they can throw to. That happens all the time. So bending it slightly the other way, you know, is more useful, but technically it's not any more of a travel than what you see all the time. After this hammer should like be game over now, because you've got 2 versus 1. But this should be a pass. I think he kind of, instead of directing his attention towards this player, he's directing his attention towards like this downfield area here, you know. I think just pass the disc, and then he can then run into the end zone. But instead, all the other players then flood in. Oh, jeez. Matsuno. Matsuno. He's just playing a different game to everyone else, isn't he? He's just like, catch for his V. Well, here's the goal. There we go. What took everyone else so long? That is close. Do you think he throws this like particularly hard because he sees this guy coming in? Just guns it straight at Matsuno. Whoosh, brings the knees up. So if he spills this, then like the knees might help with the catch. And then you see these guys here, defender looking, this guy turning and going deep. It's just like, no, I'm gone. Is this a travel? 1 if you think it's a travel, 2 if you think it's not a travel.
Bronze medal match in the mixed division.
What do you think? when the disc's in the air, you know you're not going to get the disc now. You want to go get the force on, but he comes around in front, which then just gives them the ability to pass off the line immediately. And then, you know, it's very hard to stop this continue because this defender is in a good position here, working under, and then this guy just has to run over this way. Just runs away from the good positioning and he gets the disc. That's the power of changing the angle of attack as well. It feels like that's how all huddles should be, you know, like 7 heads in and then everyone else around supporting. You're more likely to turn over if the disc is on the end zone line than you are if it's on the brick mark. From the brick mark, you have plenty of space. Everyone's familiar with it. Lots of options. Not likely to turn over. When you're on the end zone line, the end zone's right there, so there's a lot of pressure on that. Not much space. All your players normally piled into the end zone. High pressure from the defense, more likely to turn over. So having it in this kind of area, not on the end zone line, but within shooting range, keeps the defense keeps the defense working, keeps those threats open. So Japan winning 15-9 in the semi-final, going through to the final of Worlds 2016. Japan killed that game towards the end. I want to have a look at Japan's turnovers. Yeah, I remember this. They get off to good flow, and then it's just a little overthrow. Arakawa goes back to Matsuno. Matsuno then overthrows Arakawa. So you'd expect a player in the World semi-finals to be able to get the disc from here to the end zone. Yeah, coming down nice and slow over the end zone ideally, but doesn't quite have the power on it. It's not even too high. It's just not like hard enough. It just needs to be further. It's kind of what they know, isn't it? You know, right, we've got to work harder. But if you play a different type of defense where you've got to work smarter, then potentially stand a better chance against when you come up against teams that you're equally physically matched with. Like GB got knocked out by Australia in the quarterfinal because they met their match physically, and so their A game didn't work anymore. And then I think if Australia had matched the USA in the final, they would have found the same thing. They just outmatched physically. Whereas Japan did a bit of a strategic win. So another turn on a deep throw. This is like a weird shape. Trying to get the disc there. Should have been coming in from the other side. I was a bit late, like he's very far away when that throw goes. So far that's 2 turnovers on long throws. Yeah, we got that one. We got this one. And the first turnover was just a slight overthrow on a give-go, like execution. Another long throw, another long turn. So that's three turns from long puts for Japan. Still in the first half. I'm not sure they turn over. This is the 1 turnover in the second half. Oh, the wind picks the disc up. He should have caught it earlier, but yeah, the wind picks it up. So majority of Japan's turnovers coming from long throws, but they didn't get put off doing them. You know, they did complete some long throws later on in the game as well, even for the winning point. Now let's have a look at Australia's turnovers. So what's the reason for this turnover? What's the root cause of it? Just excellent defense, I'd say. You know, like I think that's not a bad decision. Slight execution. You could have led him further out to the corner, but the defense was outstanding. Okay, Australia's next turn. Really poor choice on the long throw. Like with a couple of defenders that were able to get it as well. 3 defenders potentially could have got that, and execution as well. The throw came much shorter than he wanted. It's probably part of the decision. I mean, it's wet. It's a wet disc and stuff at that time. Okay, weird execution thing here. Russ said when he watched this with us on Friday, like learn a throw and go sidearm in this situation. If you can do a throw and go sidearm, then you know you're off to the races. But having to twist your body around for that backhand, not ideal. No, double team. Yeah, it is. yeah, just throws the hammer to the wrong place. I mean, it's not a bad decision because he's got players here in space. It's just slips out the hand. Execution error. What happened for this one? Sorry, it's my phone. Oh yeah, he just rushes this. He focuses all the attention downfield and forces this throw. So that's got to be a decision because the execution would have to be really, really good. You know, every turnover has an element of execution in it, but you know, that's a really tricky decision. I mean, the decision to throw that really risky throw basically is a dodgy decision. That looked like just execution. Just the dish just pops up. You know, that decision's fine. Defense isn't making it too hard. It's just execution, and then a defended deep shot. Yeah. So I mean, I think there's a few miscommunications, and I think Japan doing slightly strange defense kind of teases those turnovers out of Australia, and then there's a slight propensity to throw deep, a bit too readily when it's not potentially the best option. A bit of an overfocus on yards. Yeah, what games do people want me to review or to watch with me? I'm thinking we should do something American fairly soon. So we could do the final of nationals. I'm open to suggestions basically. So whatever you want to see, let me know either in the chat or as a comment on the channel. I'm hoping to do this like fairly regularly. For the time being, this day seems to work well for me. Tuesdays and Friday should work well as well. So maybe we'll have like a Tuesday stream, a Friday watch party stream. If you want me to do any analysis of like just your team, like footage that you have from this season or last season, and you know you want me to do a similar kind of thing like this, go through it live, either like publicly or privately with your team, or offline, and you know create like a video analysis type thing, which would be kind of more detailed but less interactive. If you want me to do that with your team, then let me know. I am open for business in that regard, and I'm keen to get doing more of this stuff and provide entertainment for people. Give us all something to do. I hope you've enjoyed this stream. I hope you enjoyed hanging out. I've enjoyed it. It's great to see everyone chatting. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you again soon.